we're back for another episode of Creation World Presents DC's Multiverse, a companion show to our super flashy era of tomorrow, where we will be discussing different incarnations of DC properties. I am your host, Mara the Shark Watkins, pleasure, and I am joined once again by my Blade Runner looking co-host, Sir Cussalott Travis Pointer, aka Dragon King, Big T, T Money, Sweet T, Black Merlin, and Head Nigga in Charge or HNIC. This episode, we'll be discussing the DC Universe animated movie, The Reign of the Supermen, featuring, I feel like it's the same cast from the last one we did, which was The Death of Superman.
Yeah.
You have Jerry O'Connell, Rebecca Romaine, Rainn Wilson, Cameron Mahonigan, Cress Williams, Jason O'Mara, Rosario Dawson, Shamar Moore. There's a bunch of whole other names in there. We can't get into all of them.
Did you recognize Doomsday's voice?
Doomsday, or are you talking about Darkseid?
Darkseid. That's what I meant.
Darkseid is by Tony Todd.
Candyman, y'all.
That was like the creepy man himself.
When I'm watching it, I'm like, I know that voice. I know this voice. Who the fuck is that? And then he said something. I forgot what it was he said. I'm like, that's motherfucking Candyman. And I looked it up. I'm like, that is Candyman. Goddamn. He was another thing besides Candyman, but that's how we know him. He Candyman. He was also the adult Jake Sisko on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He was a few things. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, you want to know the funny part was I actually don't know him originally as Candyman. I know him from Final Destination.
Oh yeah, he was the dude in the graveyard, right?
Yeah, or he worked at the morgue or something.
Yeah, he did something with dead people.
I was just like
dead folks.
Creepy man around dead people. He either was in the morgue or he was one of the people who come to coroners or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where I know him from originally. And then some people were like, yeah, that's also Candyman. And I was just like,
yeah, but you're like 12, so you don't remember that. So it's okay.
I haven't seen the original Candyman.
Yeah, I know, because you're like 12. That's what I'm saying.
Well, when did that come out?
Long enough ago for you to not remember it. I don't remember the exact
date. Candyman came out the same year I was born, so there was no way I would have seen this.
Yeah, just in time for my older siblings to traumatize me with it.
How old were you in 92? 6. Did you turn 6 or were you 5 going on 6?
5 going on 6. I turned 6 in December.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that movie came out in August, first off.
Yeah, so they showed it to me. They probably showed it to me the next year because that's when it came out on video because I didn't see it in the theaters. I saw it on video.
Touché.
So I was probably 6 at the time. Maybe 7. I'm not sure. But
sorry, not August. Came out in October. But same thing. Who shows a 6-year-old this movie?
Terrence Pointer. That's who shows this movie to a 6-year-old.
You just outed him with his whole name.
Yeah. I will put it out there. My brother's full government name, Terrence Lamar Pointer, showed me that movie.
Does Terrence subscribe to our Patreon so that he can be one of the first few people to hear it, or does he have to wait till it's publicly released?
I don't know. No, he doesn't subscribe to the Patreon. He doesn't because he's an awful brother. So no, he doesn't.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So he has to wait till it's publicly released to hear that you've slandered him all over the internet.
I mean, he doesn't have to wait. I'll tell him myself. I will call him and tell him that I outed him as being an awful brother who shows a 6-year-old child Candyman.
Now.
But
text him right now that CPS is coming for backlogs and backdates.
CPS is also the energy company down here, so that's a completely different thing.
You know, it's crazy because there's also ACS, but it's now what's called, but now it's CPS, but ACS for us is Apple Care Service. Because I said that once, I was like, yo, I had this one close scare and I was scared that ACS was going to be at my door. And someone was like, you were scared that Apple Care support was coming? And I was just like, what?
Wait, what does ACS stand for?
I thought it was like something of child services. I could be wrong though. Administration for Children's Services. I was just
Oh,
like, there's something with children's with ACS, but now like I know like I think those are now two separate things, or maybe they're one under the other. But CPS is Child Protective Services.
yeah. See, here the power company is CPS Energy, so I know because they're like leaving me messages like every week to be like, oh, this is a high usage day. You should lower your usage and like turn your thermostat. I'm like, oh, or you can kiss my entire black ass. Like, no, no, it's hot outside. It is 98 degrees right now. No, I'm not turning my thermostat to 78. Fuck you.
Do they also moonlight and just kind of like when they hear instances of children being abused, they just show up too?
I don't know. I've yet to see
We
CPS Energy in person, so I don't know.
they show up and they go, "Hey, hey, hey, we're gonna slower your power for a minute until you stop hurting these kids. Next time we come back, cutting it all off
Or they
and taking the
just,
kids."
well, normally what they do is they just decide it's too cold outside, so they just not gonna give nobody no power. So that's the kind of shit they do.
Mm.
Those of you who
Well, I
live in
mean,
Texas know, like back in February, things weren't going so well for us.
there is that. That
I
shit was
mostly had
crazy.
power most of the time. It kept like intermittently going out, but like it was, not too bad. Couldn't work though. Such a shame. I had to just sit
But we're not
around and
here to
play my
talk.
Switch all day. Oh no.
Hey, what a shame. Oh my God. Until your Switch died.
Yeah. Then I had to put it on the thing and hope it like, just let it charge for a while. And then I could,
Hope that it got to like 50.
yeah, yeah.
Play it again. Kill
Hmm.
it again.
Basically.
But we're not here to talk about Texas's infrastructure or climate change or any infrastructure. RIP people in Miami. Um,
Whew.
yeah.
That
Uh,
shit.
we are here to talk about Reign of Supermen. So
Oh
let's
yeah,
get
that's why
into it
we're here.
because yeah, I totally forgot for like 5 seconds because we were talking so much about other stuff. But whatever, it's why you guys pay to be here anyway. So, or for those of you who paid to hear this early and not the ones who just waited till we released it a month later.
Cheap
What was I
bastards.
gonna say?
I'm playing. I'm playing. Thank you for listening.
Right. I'm not saying that. I'm not with that. I'm not with that.
I didn't mean it, y'all.
um
I'm just being silly.
yeah, so this was my first time watching this movie, and I know this was not your first time watching this, Travis. Um Overall, I liked it. I had thoughts. And as you know me, I always like to put my commentary in my notes because it's the only way I remember it.
Hmm.
But yeah, we
So it's
start
fun
off
watch. There's
with
some interesting differences between how they did this in the movie, in this animated movie, versus how they did it in the comics. Um, like in the
oh,
comics, Darkseid is not a part of this at all. Like
oh okay.
at all. Um, it makes sense for them to put him into this though, because if you're somebody who only watches like animated stuff or just watches DC TV and stuff like that, you know who Darkseid is. So that makes sense to make him involved in this and give them something big to go up against instead of it just being Hank Henshaw, which is what it was in the comics. It was really just Hank Henshaw in the end, basically all on his own with the cyborg Superman and all that kind of shit. Um, Darkseid wasn't involved at all. Doomsday coming, Darkseid didn't do that. Doomsday was something that was had it was some kind of deep seated Kryptonian kind of shit. Like he's like a Kryptonian weapon kind of thing. And ended up there, if I'm remembering correctly. He has some ties to Krypton. Is what I'm saying. He's like a
Yeah, he was like, because I know that they touched on it also in Smallville when they did a
mm,
season dedicated to like Dark Doomsday coming and all that. So I've heard that before. Or
mm,
also even like when in Batman versus Superman, um, you know, Dark Doomsday was still kind of created with Kryptonian like technology and
yeah, he
biology and
from
shit
Zod, yeah, and they made him one, and yeah, from that. So yeah,
because we let
he's
Lex Luthor do shit.
yeah. yeah. But yeah, so in the comics, he's like, from some kind of thing with Krypton and all that. Hank Henshaw, the whole him, blaming Superman for his wife's death and all that kind of stuff is the same as the comics. It's just him going to Dark Side and Dark Side giving him the cyborg Superman shit is not the way it would in the comics. But like I said, it makes sense to do it this way.
Because I was going to ask you, is Apocalypse after this? Or is that another, or is that a separate movie?
I think it's a separate movie. I think Apocalypse came out before this. So,
Okay.
yeah, it
Because
was
I
from a different set of films.
got
Uh,
you. Because I know, like, in the movie towards the end, when it seemed like, not to jump around, but when Darkseid was about to emerge, um, I remember him screaming out for Apocalypse. And I was like, oh,
but
does
that's the
that come
planet they're
next or
on.
did that come out before? Huh?
Apocalypse is his planet. So,
That makes sense now.
yeah, yeah.
And
But,
so, what would
but
be following this movie, though?
I don't remember. I gotta look and see. But there is a Superman, Justice League Apocalypse movie that we can do next. I'm cool with that, because that's also one of those films that has a dope ass Batman moment in it. So I'm always down for dope ass Batman moments when he just pretty much like, yo, you just don't fuck with me. So, um, yeah,
Oh, okay. I think because I'm looking up a little bit of notes here because I was curious because there is a post credit at the end of this movie
hmm
um, that indicates that they are going to go towards Dark Side.
right, right. And in the Apocalypse Justice League movie, Lex isn't even in it. Like he doesn't go to Apocalypse with them. So
Yeah. So I was looking at it, and in the footnotes, it says it's setting up the events of Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
okay.
So that makes sense,
Mm.
which is also available on HBO, I think, if we would
Uh,
like to go to that next.
makes sense. We can do that if it's there. Let me make sure it's there before we say that's what we're doing, though.
True. I feel like I saw it there when I was searching Reign of Supermen, but I always like to double check, before we say stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hold on. Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Yep, it's there.
Okay. But yeah, just a quick fun fact about the Reign of Superman. It's the 12th film in the DC animated movie universe, but it's the 33rd in the it's the 33rd film in the DC universe animated original movies. I don't know why they do it like this. That
Well, it's
was
it's because this one is actually in a continuity. So
okay.
it's the 12th one, I guess you say, in that continuity. But they've made 33 of them out of those big DC movies.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's others, like the Crisis on Two Earths that's not part of this. It's just like
Gotcha.
the
Yeah,
anim-
because there's different timelines. There's different
Mhm.
all that stuff. Because I realized this is in the new 52 timeline,
You can
and
tell that
actually,
very easily from the Wonder Woman costume.
touche.
Yeah, is very. Oh, it's that one. Okay,
And Apocalypse War is the one that ends that timeline of movies.
came out last year, so that makes sense.
Yeah, because now they're in the rebirth timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So this is getting more and more exciting, guys. But let's hop into the movie because we've been giving you background information. We talked about some child protective services. We've talked about a lot in the first 20 minutes of this episode.
We have.
So we start off, it's been 6 months since Doomsday, which sounds about accurate since the last time we did one of these. Not really, but you get the
It
joke.
feels that way because it's like it's been so long. We don't hang out enough. Anyway, keep going.
We don't hang out at all because we live in two different time zones, but I
That's neither
digress.
here nor there. We're not.
Right. That's not the point.
That doesn't make my statement any less true.
This is also true. Um, Cat Grant is interviewing a G. Gordon Godfrey. Don't know why his mother decided to name him with three G's, but I don't care. He doesn't like the supers who are in place of Superman, and he thinks humans should be their own hero. And Kat is like, did you see what Doomsday looked like? Or are we stupid? Like, we have like a whole bunch of different Supermans kind of doing different things around town. We see a younger Superman who we find out is Superboy. Um, we have Jimmy about to
Oh,
get hit
Connor
by.
Kent.
Is that what they name him?
Yeah, Connor Kent.
Gotcha. We have Jimmy get saved by a different Superman, um, who is made out of metal.
Oh, steel. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, because Jimmy's not paying attention, Jimmy's doing what we always say not to do, not looking both ways before crossing the street.
Shame.
You know? We got a bunch of thugs about to take some weapons, and then another Superman defeats them. And you also find out that Clark's body. So I'll refer to Superman as Clark this movie just because there's too many fucking Supermans in this movie for me to distinguish them.
Well, you can just say there's Superboy, there's Steel, and there's Eradicator.
Yeah, that took a long time to get to his name because I was just calling him Superman with glasses, Superman with visor, Superman.
You know what? And it's funny that you say that, like, because, like, oh, she doesn't know Eradicator. All she knows about Eradicator is from Superman and Lois, what they were calling that project, which is something different. So, which is why I was saying, yeah, which is why we were watching this. And I'm like, that's interesting. They called that the Eradicator because that's something different in the comics. Anyway, go ahead. It's similar but different.
It makes sense though, because he was out here just like, yeah, you go, fuck you, fuck your mother, all that. Like he was like,
got real New York right there for a second, and
did I?
You did. That one phrase.
Fuck your mother.
Yeah, right there was where it came.
Fuck your mother.
And I was just like, wow.
You get instantly reminded where your friend is from.
Yeah. Every now and then it comes out of y'all. Like all y'all that I know from up there. There's certain phrases that y'all will say, and it's just like, oh, there it is.
You're like, dead ass, my son. Like that's a lot. But yeah, I didn't know his name was the Eradicator till later on. But so I was like, essentially, we got a whole bunch of new Supermen, and I was just like, one of y'all is gonna be evil. And we quickly found out it was Cyborg Superman, who doesn't like to be called Cyborg Superman. He was like, I'm just Superman.
And this is also why I was so irritated on Supergirl, what they did with Hank Henshaw and what they called Cyborg Superman. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, when they had him, like, that little dollar store Hank Henshaw with just a little silver plate on the side of his face right there. And he's like, I'm Cyborg Superman. Like, no, you're not. You don't look like Superman at all. You ain't got the
You are John Jones with like a face implant.
Yeah, like, the fuck is this?
Hey, man, I couldn't speak on it.
I was insulted, basically. I know. What I'm saying.
The Lois writes an article called Reign of the Supermen, or someone writes an article titled Reign of Supermen. And I was like, all right, roll credits. You ain't got to do nothing else. Just roll credits. We said the title of the movie. That's it. Perry White yelling at his whole team, as he usually does. And we find out that we're still looking for Clark 6 months later. And
yeah, because you remember at the end of Death of Superman, some shit happened and bye body. So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they're looking for like Clark. They're not like Clark's body. Like
right. Because people are still missing, so they just think he's one of the missing people.
Right, and I was just like, sis, it's been 6 months. Y'all still trying to find him. It's crazy. But whichever. We see Lois and we know that she's still mourning. Ma and Pa Kent, as I call them, because my captions called her Ma Kent. And I was just like, so I'm assuming Dad must also be Pa. They show up to come console Lois and kind of help her pack up the apartment. And they talk about Clark's body being moved and the other Superman, just kind of popping up out of nowhere to take his place. Lois realizes that she should meet with Wonder Woman to see if she can get some insight on these new Supermen. Um, and Diana informs that the League has no real information about the Supermen, but she's quite keen on the one that kind of the one with the visor. So she's keen on the Eradicator one.
Yeah, because he the one that just be out there whooping ass. So she like, yeah, I like that one.
She's like, that's a man who makes moves.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
makes shit happen.
And she also, in this time hints at, her and Superman's little history. They was, bumping uglies for a little while. And she was like, yeah, 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 that was the thing. You want to talk about his dick? She didn't say that out loud, but it was just like that was,
You
hinted
want
at.
to compare notes real
Yeah,
quick?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That thing you like, I taught him that.
Exactly.
It's an
He holds back
Amazonian.
on you. He
It's
goes off on me because he can go off on me. He can't go off
right.
on you like that.
That
But
thing you like is an Amazonian custom. uh, so was that the only person who found it weird that Diana transformed into Wonder Woman in broad daylight on the street?
she don't give a fuck. Like she's really like literally, she just does not give a fuck because she's Wonder Woman. She doesn't like have to live in the city. She don't care.
You right. You right. She's like, I can just go anywhere. You will never know.
Yeah, she doesn't
Uh,
care.
and so she takes off, and later it goes over to this fancy event that Lex Luthor is holding, obviously. And Lois goes, and then we finally get to meet John Henry Irons, and I was like, yay, another name I know.
We met him in Death of Superman.
Did we?
Yep.
Don't remember. That's how long it's been.
Mm-hmm.
Because I kept thinking throughout the entire time when Hank Henshaw was talking about his wife, and I was like, to be honest, to hold this kind of grudge, I don't even remember what happened to y'all that she died.
Yeah, space shuttle shit, and yeah.
I just know they were in space and some shit blew up or crashed.
Mm.
But yeah, so Lex goes to make a speech, and then he's talking about making sure the city gets rebuilt so that they never experience another doomsday. And I was just like, but how can you really prevent that?
He's Lex. He likes to think he can do whatever the fuck he wants. So I'm sure when he says this, he truly believes it.
I want to have the kind of confidence that Lex Luthor has. I mean, there's also that he's like super genius and a fucking billionaire, but like, I want to have the confidence that I can do literally anything because I put my mind to it. Because that's literally what it is.
Yeah. Lex is just like, this is what I want to do. Of course
I'm going to do it.
Of course I can do it.
Like, it's doable. I'm going to do it.
I'm Lex Luthor. Yeah.
And so he introduces a new Superman, and I was like, this is a child. But you see, it's the Superboy that we saw earlier. And I'm just going to start calling him Superboy from here on out because the whole, I'm Superman, ain't happening. So, we get like a flyer that comes down or a poster reminiscent of the stupid presidency that we just endured. And it was like, make Metropolis safe again. And I was like, all it needed was a red background with white font. And I was
think
just
that
like,
wasn't on purpose? Huh.
I'm sure I
100% was on purpose.
Because for a fact Lex voted for Trump.
Yeah.
For a fact he did.
Definitely. No doubt.
He was just like, you said tax cuts, my friend? Oh, let's do it. Inequality for others? Definitely. During the party, Lois sneaks into some lab where she meets Dabney Donovan, a doctor with advanced genetics. And so I was like, essentially, he's the person who birthed this Superboy.
Mm-hmm.
And then so Lex walks in on them talking. Lex scolds about how Dabney like talks too much. And but Lois also happens to see
always out there skirt chasing. That's what happened to you when you just like live your life that way.
He's just like, for someone who should be happily married, you fuck around on your wife a lot. And he was like, what?
I would
What?
never.
Right? Flabbergasted. Um, Lois sees John Henry Irons in another corner somewhere sneaking around, and then all of a sudden the building shakes, and we find out that we'll now call him the Eradicator is attacking the party because he's looking for Lex.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's just like, yo, Lex is evil. I'm coming to fuck shit up.
100. That's
And the
he's got a
crazy,
one-track mind.
yeah, the crazy part about this was that he shows up and then he says, Lex, I'm gonna take you out. And then Lex proceeds to move this innocent lady in front of the power beam that the Eradicator shoots at him. And I was like, yo, what kind of fucked up shit is that?
Mm-hmm.
He was just like, yeah, take this for me, bite that. Thanks.
Yeah.
So Lois tells him, like, yo, can you get your clones to chill out? And he's like, no, no, no. Only the kid is mine.
Mm-hmm.
These other ones, I don't know who they are. I don't know where they came from or what. Steel shows up to save them in time. And then Cyborg Superman also shows up. And then I was like, so essentially, is this a battle royale of Supermen instead? Which it is.
Basically, but it was like, multiples fighting the Eradicator instead of all of them fighting each other, which is what I wanted to see. Like, I want to see all of them going at each other, but we didn't really get that. And it was just like, missed
and because
opportunity, people. Missed opportunity.
it was a missed opportunity, but for me, because I hadn't read the comics nor seen this movie before, I was just like, it was a good setup to deflect away from Cyborg Superman. Because in all honesty, I thought the Eradicator was going to be the problem in this. So, because it was just like, yo, you're just being unreasonable, my guy. And then, Cyborg Superman, eventually when he goes to speak to Lois, it just makes it seem like it's still me. I'm still Kal-El. I don't have all these memories, but like, we'll make new ones.
Yeah, yeah, and they kind of did that in the comics too with him. Like, it was just like he
Okay.
he talked like he was, Superman. It was just like like I haven't, really something about like we don't everything has changed since, and he was like since he killed me, and just he had this like look at his eyes. He like had this whole thing where he took Doomsday's body and threw it out into space and all that. Like, it was almost like he really did believe he was Superman. Um, but it was like it was a very interesting way they went about it in the comics versus how they do it here. I'm not saying either choice is bad. It was just different.
Yeah. So, we get a montage of different Superman appearances, and they're doing what Supermen do,
Saving people,
saving people, saving buildings, fixing things,
stopping the baddies.
you know, everyday shit. You got Superboy kind of showing up at red carpets and shit, and Lex is like, get the fuck in this car, let's talk. This is not what you're here for. And Superboy tells him, like, I wasn't aware I was a clone, but thanks for letting me find out this way. Um, and Lex tells him that he has something planned for him that'll make him more of a Superman and not a Superboy. Because Lex seemed to take it really well. Both him and Lex seemed to be kind of offended by the Superboy title. And it's like, I get it, but you
You're
made
a
a
child.
man. You made a man child. Like, make a more developed looking person. Maybe you'll get man.
Yeah, yeah. It'd be different if Superman didn't look like he was just hitting puberty. Like,
So then we have the Justice League overseeing the president being in town. And Superboy joins them
they were
saying that,
relaunching the Watchtower, the new Watchtower.
okay. I was just like, president's in town. That's all it is.
Yeah, Watchtower launch.
What would I say? Oh, Superboy joins them and tells them that he's head of LexCorp LexCorp security. So he's like, I have every right to be here. Da da da. And it's like, take your ass to where the Titans are. Get out of here. While that's going on, Cyborg Superman is also watching over the rest of them. Which at first I was just like, okay, he's just,
You think it would
overseeing,
make sense that he would just be there just to make sure everything's all right?
going swimmingly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's just like, okay, are you gonna say hi? You just gonna be weird? Be weird. Okay. So, Lex reminds Superboy that President Dale is watching his moves and to be on top of his shit. Uh, and then, of course, as that happens, the president's giving his speech, and literally the sky opens
Mm-hmm.
and aliens, robot aliens.
Parademons. Gotta love it. I'm like,
They
oh.
look more robotic than they do demons in this, as opposed to Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
But so, the League has to jump into action. They start to defeat the aliens, and then somehow that portal that they came through breaks and falls from the sky. Honest to God, if Chicken Little lived in Metropolis, he would lose his shit. He would tell me he wouldn't. He would lose his shit. He'd be like, I told y'all the
Yeah.
sky was
But,
falling.
I mean, I've said this several times, and y'all just don't listen.
He's like, look, the sky fell and then it ate the Justice League. Because that's exactly what happened. It fell and then took them somewhere else.
Yeah. Just kind of, they got swallowed by a piece of the sky. Like that's
I was just like, what the fuck just happened? So, Lex got mad because there was a missed opportunity for Superboy to become Superman. And it was like, but I mean, at the same time, relax. At least he wasn't taken to another dimension like Justice League.
Yeah.
And he was going to terminate Superboy. He has a break in case of emergency termination needle.
Yeah, a little injection just to take him out. Apparently, he's done this before. Like it seemed very routine to him when he went and grabbed that needle.
He was just like, do you still want to tell him Dab need? Not that it matters at this point, like ready to like push out that small sample and then just jab it in his neck. And then so Dr. Dabney convinced him to not kill him or terminate him.
Yeah, he's like leaps and bounds of all the others, man. He's all right. Don't worry about it. Like, we cool. You ain't got to kill him.
He just needs some guidance.
Yeah.
Just some guidance. And so he's just like, you right. And then tosses it. My captions literally said, syringe shatters or glass shatters. And I was just like, so you broke it? You couldn't just put it back?
Nah, he don't give a shit because he's about to tear that whole room up. So,
touche. Because then after that, he tells Dr. Dabney he's fired, and then I'm going to imagine he's dead. With all those creatures.
Unleashed all them like fucked up mutant clone shits on him. Yeah. They killed him.
So, I was just like, damn. What are you going to tell his wife? Not that Lex cares, but like, damn, what do you tell his wife?
You're right. Lex doesn't care.
Yeah, like I in the back of my brain, I can instantly see like he would just be like, of like one of his assistants being like, well, what did we tell his wife? I don't care. Tell him something.
Yeah, I'm Lex Luthor. Tell her he's fucking dead. What the fuck I care?
Right. Tell them our science work took him out. Like that was part of the job. Still fucked up, but what can we do about it? Cyborg Superman goes to Clark's grave before Lois arrives, but then takes off when she gets there. And then, I won't lie, Luna distracted me during this one part, and I got tired of rewinding things every 10 seconds. But there was some connection made where Lois realized...
Because it wasn't Clark's grave.
Okay, see, that's why. I just knew she was at a grave.
It was at Henshaw's wife's grave.
There we go. Because I saw Lois come up to a grave, and I was just like, ah, okay, so we're at Clark's.
No, no. Clark
Good.
doesn't have a grave because they haven't found his body. They don't know he's dead yet.
They are so much more hopeful than I am because I would give it at max probably 2 weeks. And even at that point, I'm like, this is very slim.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
That's
if
where
the
the
heads
connection came from, though, because he was standing at his wife's grave. That's how they figured out who it was.
got you. Because I was trying to figure out from point A to point B. But at this point, I rewound several times already because my child is needy. And I was just like, I'll make an assumption. I'll be corrected at some point.
And there you go.
That's why we have a co-host, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd just be out here misinforming you. So yeah, we put together that Henshaw is Cyborg Superman, but Lois also figures out that John Henry is Steel as well. So I was like, so we don't really have any other Supermans other than Eradicator, which just seems like an odd name choice, and Superboy.
Mm-hmm.
We realistically only have 3 Supermen, and one is a boy.
I mean, 3 Superman is more than you had 6 months ago. So, 6 months ago, you only
So
had one.
and
So,
he got taken out pretty swiftly.
it wasn't Swift. He had to, he fought through it. He took that motherfucker with him.
He
But,
was just like, I ain't going alone, bitch.
mm-hmm.
What was I going to say? So while we have Cyborg Superman talking to the city, post like this the parademons attack. He tells the city that right before I thought something was up. He's tweaking and sees Darkseid across the way, and I was just like, "You okay? What you going through right now?"
No, he's not okay. Like, at all.
The kids are not okay, guys. And so I was just like, okay. We just randomly have Darkseid in it. And it's crazy because I had to remind myself what his name was. Because at first I was like, Thanos, what are you doing?
Mm.
But I was like, that's not Thanos because it's not the right properties. But then I was like, who's one of the big bads from DC? I was like, Darkseid's one that keeps coming up. And I was like, I'm going to assume this is Darkseid again. So he's speaking to this Cyber Superman, speaking to the city, and he's telling them that in lieu of what has happened to the Justice League, he wants to build a new Justice League team. And he's like, I need y'all to help me. And everyone's just like, we're not supers. We don't do that stuff.
And he's like, you're not supers yet.
Right. I can fix that. And so some dude volunteers and turns him into the super with a chest plate. And then I was like, this dude said, we not being vulnerable again. No more. And so John, talking to Lois, says he's going to check out Inner Gang to see if there's any connections between Cyborg Superman and them because they have connections to Lex Luthor.
Because he took, like, there was that dark side attack before, and Lex had all that mother box and apocalypse technology, and he sold some shit to them, and he's like, yeah, there's some connections here somewhere. We just got to figure out where they are.
Yeah, like all these backdoor dealings going on. And so
just do exactly what James Carter in Rush Hour 2 told you to do. That's Chris Tucker's character.
push the button.
No, that's the first Rush Hour. That's not Rush Hour 2. Rush Hour 2, he said, follow the rich white man.
It's not wrong. Now I want to watch Rush Hour.
Yeah. Rush Hour.
I don't remember.
The first Rush Hour was push the goddamn button. The second Rush Hour was follow the rich white man.
Gotcha. I probably have seen it in parts, but I don't know if I've seen Rush Hour 2 in a full sitting.
Oh, really?
Either that, I just don't remember it that well because I always remember Rush Hour 1, with push the motherfucking button or whatever.
Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button.
Yeah. I personally feel like Rush Hour 2 is better than the first Rush Hour, but that's like I don't think that's a popular opinion, but I do think the second Rush Hour is better than the first
Well, I'm gonna watch it at some point, so I'll let you know how I feel.
one. Mm-hmm.
Um, where did we leave off at? Yeah, okay. So all this is going on, and I'm sitting here just like, okay, where the fuck is the real Superman? Because is he coming back at any point? Like what's going on? This feels like I'm watching
What you
the
mean, Mari? He's dead. You saw him die.
I know, but like we know he's coming back. Like this is how I felt watching
What you
Justice
mean
League.
you know he's coming back? He's not Jesus.
We knew he was coming back. I'm gonna go with the lack of them talking about religious entities in DC stuff as Superman is practically the second coming of Jesus. So let's let's not talk about he's not Jesus. He practically is.
Speaking of Jesus, you watched Lucifer, right?
I have not watched the most recent season part. I'm not sure where I'm at to like season 5, episode 1. But go
Okay.
on.
Anyway, I'm just wondering as I'm watching Lucifer, like, where's Jesus? Why don't they ever mention Jesus?
I would like to take it to a standpoint of them either not wanting to put a face to Jesus because of how many people disagree on what Jesus looks like. He's black with dark hair. Don't argue with me on it.
They
Not you.
put a face on God.
I mean, I've seen several things put a face on God, and I find that to be weird every time. Like Supernatural, when they made Chuck God. This whole time, the author Chuck being God. I was
Well,
just like, what?
Lucifer made God the Allstate dude. So, that's Allstate, Stan. Are you in good hands?
You
That dude.
didn't have to do. I
That
know
dude.
who. I was just like, I was trying to think, did I get to that point to know that? And I was like, I
Yeah.
didn't.
Oh,
And that's
wait.
why I was just
No,
like,
you didn't. You didn't actually. So you said you're at the beginning of season 5. My bad.
yeah, that's why I gave that face of like, really?
Yeah. Yeah. My bad.
Not that I'm upset at it because I love seeing a black. Wait, which Allstate? Oh no, it's the black dude, right?
Yeah. Are you in good
Okay.
hands? Yeah. That dude.
Yeah. Okay. As much as and it's like I like it that way. I like continuously seeing black men being portrayed as God.
Yeah. If it's that dude, Morgan Freeman,
Even
it
though
all
I'm more
works.
convinced God is a woman and Mother Nature is actually a man.
Interesting.
Explain periods. Explain why only women get periods and not men. Tell me that's not a dirty joke from a guy.
What's that got to do with Mother Nature?
Because my period is part of nature.
Is that what we going with?
The nature of my body, yes. Why do you think people say Mother Nature is in town?
I've never heard that, but okay.
Okay. But either way, the reason why I feel like they don't put a face on Jesus is because a lot of people disagree on what he looks like. But also because do Jewish people believe in Lucifer? Yeah, right?
I assume so. Because they believe in the Old Testament and he's in the Old Testament.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of feel like they don't touch on Jesus. That's my only assumption. Because of the fact that it's so they don't like what am I trying to say? Like I don't want to say sequester, but so that they don't like seem like they're attuning to, I guess, to one faith, even though they kind of do, but I don't know.
They made
You
an
gotta
entire
ask them
show about the
Netflix.
devil. I am not buying that shit. But anyway, go ahead, keep going.
I don't know. You asking the wrong people. You need to ask Fox that.
I really wasn't like asking you to in terms of me expecting an answer. It was just one of those things that I just was thinking about as I'm watching the show. Like, how come Jesus never showed up here? There's a whole get to the end of Lucifer so I can talk to you about this. You talk about why it's bothering me so much that Jesus isn't in this motherfucking show. Anyway, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Because I was gonna say, like, I feel like I've only seen Jesus in like one or two things, and it's I can only really recently remember it as South Park. And there's another one. I was gonna say where Jesus is ripped, but that's South Park too, right?
Yeah, they did that in South Park also.
Yeah, Jesus is ripped in South Park. There's another cartoon where they also portrayed Jesus, but I'm not
Family
gonna get
Guy.
into that further.
He was also in
Thank you. I
Family
was
Guy.
like, there's another show that shows Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I will be writing them all letters about how they are wrong on their depiction, but it's neither here or there today.
There's also a
Um,
film that came out a long time ago called The Second Coming. Jesus is black in that one. But anyway, go ahead.
okay. I was gonna say, please don't say Passion of Christ, because I was like, that's a movie I don't ever have to be scarred with again.
Yeah, I remember seeing that one. I was in
I
high
went to see that in
school.
theaters with my church.
My school took us to go see that.
That's fucked up.
I was in high school. I went to a Catholic high school.
Okay, that's different. Still fucked up, but I get it a little bit more. Anywho, where was I? I was like, where was real Superman? But okay, we got these new heroes, I will call them, or I'll just call them I'll call them hybrid heroes, are out and about, but they don't seem to recognize their loved ones, and so it seems like they're pretty much like mindless drones.
Mm-hmm.
And so John goes to see, or Steel goes to see Intergang, and they were fucked up by the Eradicator. And I'm just like, is he a bad guy or is he a good guy? I'm not understanding. It's not quite clear.
Again, he just has a one-track mind. He's just like, we gonna stop all these bad motherfuckers, and I don't care if they die.
And the gang dude tells him, yeah, we have trackers on our stuff, please. And then you can find him that way. Steel goes to finds the fortress, and the Eradicator is recharging, as I will say, because I forget what they said. He wakes up and he starts whipping the shit out of
That's
Steel.
not what's happening. He had been gathering energy to charge Superman.
Well, he's recharging something.
Yeah, he's recharging Superman. He's not recharging. Superman is
Got you. Because I
recharging
was
him.
just like, they keep talking about how he's all depleted and shit. And I was just like, he was just outside whipping ass 5 minutes ago. What the fuck you mean he's depleted?
No, no. Superman is depleted, because he died and all,
Yeah, that's a thing. And then so either way, Eradicator wakes up and he's like, I'm gonna whoop your ass. You're not supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Like, why are you trespassing, nigga? Like, yeah.
Lois went to go see Lex and she found
Eradicate
Superboy.
can't say that though, but
What?
Nigga.
No, he cannot.
Yeah.
Absolutely cannot. Neither can Clark.
Still can though.
Still can. It's the only Superman that can.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Did you see the movie Steel with Shaq?
Look, I'm still stuck in a place where I think there's a movie called Kazam featuring Shaq. So
There is.
no, it is that. It's Sinbad. It's Sinbad that's not real.
Yeah, it's the Sinbad movie that doesn't exist. The movie Kazam with Shaq definitely does exist. He was a
It
genie in a
does.
boombox. Yeah.
And he just kept following, like, please, man, just make them wishes.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish
Oh,
I
the
had
thing
junk
was
food
that
from here to the sky. And I am Kazam. Yeah.
no, I see what it was. We all thought he was, well, not we all thought. I think some people thought he was saying Shazam. And that's not it. It's Kazam. I'll have to find the thing for you because I forget also what they're called, where it's like a bunch of people are
The Mandela
experiencing.
effect.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I know
There's
exactly what
one
it is.
for. There's one for I think the movie Kazam, but I don't remember what it is. I'll have to find it, and I'll send it to you later.
I have the strangest memory where there's certain things that I just like remember so vividly, but like so many other things just like I have no idea what you're talking about, and it literally happened to me, but I don't remember. So it's just okay. You just said this 2 weeks ago. I don't remember that. Like, I'm sorry.
I
That's
don't
why I
remember
write
saying
everything
that.
down. That's why I write everything down, because if I don't, I'll forget it ever happened. So
Um. Anywho, Lex
Why
comes
have this?
for your receipts.
Oh, just so I can, just I journal things in there because if I don't, like, there's certain things that I'll forget and I just don't want to, like, story ideas and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Um. Meanwhile, this is going on. Lois and Lex, kind of see what's going on in a sense. And Superboy goes to take off, and Lex is like, "Don't do that. I'm gonna need you here." He ends up leaving anyway.
Because
Uh,
teenagers.
yeah, because why would you listen? Uh, we find out that Cyborg Superman, or we not find out, but confirm that he's being controlled by Darkseid, and that he's trying to come through some
I
gate
wouldn't
to
say Darkseid is
come on
controlling
Earth.
him. I'd say Darkseid is more manipulating him into doing what he already wants to do, really, anyway. Um,
True.
because he like had that whole thing where he hates Superman. Even after Darkseid's not really in the picture anymore, he's still going after Superman.
He's
So he's
like, yeah, now I'm just angry. I'm
yeah,
angry and less controlled.
yeah. So yeah, Darkseid was more focusing him and manipulating him, but I wouldn't say it was full on controlling him though.
Gotcha. Either way, I thought with Justice League, with the League in some other dimension, Travis,
Mm-hmm.
Travis,
Mara.
I don't know who froze.
I don't know. I think we're back though. You there? Hello, 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 hello.
I'm here.
Okay, cool. I think we're back.
My internet went unstable. I don't know how. I don't know how this shit was good for an hour and then it goes, yeah, you're unstable.
You're good now though.
Cool. All I kept thinking was that with the League in another dimension and Superman's dead and you got these niggas fighting somewhere else, I'm just like, damn, this is really gonna suck for humans.
Yeah, they have no hope unless everybody all of a sudden gets their shit together.
They won't. But you see a glimpse of people in like these people in Metropolis, and I know there are a couple characters from the last movie because I recognize the big burly dude. Um, Talking about we got to be our own heroes again. And I'm just like, again, point one, you're not super.
At all.
I was like, see point A, and it should be the only point. We're not super.
Point A, you're not super. Point B, see point A.
Right. So,
Get it? C, point A. Yeah. Point B, point.
trying to explain Luna, this is an A and B conversation, see your way out of it was probably one of the funniest things I've ever had to try to do because she was just like, what? And I'm just like, get out.
Can't explain that kind of shit to a 5-year-old. They don't get it.
I know. She doesn't get a lot of things. We had to explain to her how to use her and she today, but it's part of learning. So it's okay.
Just think, in a few months, you can just send her to school and say, teacher, make her know this stuff.
I'm just going to pin a list of concerns to her uniform and just say, fix it at the bottom. Things to fix.
You remind
throughout
me, like,
the school year.
Made me think of that one video I saw a long time ago of this lady talking about like how school is starting, how she just has no problem getting all the supplies that she needs. Like, what do you need? This shit. Take this motherfucker. Like,
I want it out.
Like, how many markers do you need? I'll get extras. Here.
Here, have 30 packs of them.
Yeah. You need tissues? I'll get all kinds of tissues here. You want the kind with the lotion in them? We'll get the. Get this kid out of my house.
Right. Thank you. Take him. Her. Do it. So the Eradicator is about to eradicate Steel because he was about to beat the shit out of him more.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, a wild, long-haired Kal-El emerged from his ship.
In the black suit.
In the black suit. And I was be like, it's crazy that you can die and still grow hair.
If you're a Kryptonian, the rules
It
work a
don't
little different.
matter. Yeah. The organic growing of hair is different with Kryptonians because
Yeah,
I was just like,
6 months
how
of
do you,
growth right there.
right? Because I was gonna say, if that's what it took to get my hair longer, I would have died a while ago.
You like just going. You're gonna go like, oh, I'm gonna die so I can have long hair.
Yes.
That's what you going with here.
If that's what it took,
That's the conclusion that you're drawing from this film is that you know
that's what I took away from this. However, I am now mentally stable, kind of again, or emotionally kind of balanced, so I don't feel like that anymore. So,
oh, that's good. That's good.
you can't brag about that at dinner parties. So I'll brag about it here, guys.
I heard
Um,
dinner parties are cool. I'm never having one, but I heard they're cool.
I will go to one. I won't host one.
I can't guarantee I'll go to one. There's just like so many people. Why are there people here?
Oh, I will always go somewhere where there's free food and drinks.
I
If
don't
all
know.
I
It's
have to do
just
is fees to get there, I will hop a train.
my thing is it's just every time I go to anything like that, I'm looking around. I'm like, yo, I can do a better version of this at home.
This is true, but then you have to put all the time and money into it. I like doing it on someone else's dollar.
See, and there's a difference there. I have no problem spending my own dollar for my own piece. But anyway, continue. We're not here to talk about my, asocial behavior.
Anti-socialism.
It's asocialism, not anti-socialism. I'm not against society. I just choose not to be a part of it. There's a difference.
Okay,
Antisocial means like you're literally against it and you like try to fuck shit up. I'm just asocial, not antisocial.
got you. Thank you for the clarification.
It
Um,
got clarified for me, so I feel the need to clarify it for other people.
you right.
Because I used to call
Um,
myself antisocial too. I'm like, no, you're not. You're asocial. You're not antisocial. And I'm like, really? And they explained to me like, oh, you're right. I'll stop saying that.
um, so yeah, we realize Clark is back. He's alive. We find out that the League is also alive and somewhere else, and they have no idea how to get back. So
They're fighting giant alien killer worms and shit.
yeah, that's all they can do right now. Um, we get a weird moment when Superboy calls Clark dad, and Clark is just like, the fuck.
When they said that, I'm like, so he's dad. Does that mean Lex is his mom?
No, that just means he has two dads.
I know, but I like calling Lex his mom because I know that would
Because he's
bother
a
Lex.
bitch.
Because it would, cause no, because I know it would make Lex mad.
Oh.
So, I mean, yeah, you can say he's a bitch too, yeah, but I know calling Lex his mom would make Lex angry. So it's just like, so if Clark's his dad, are you his mom?
He did birth him.
You did, you
Came
did,
from
Lex.
just small pieces of DNA from Clark.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. And he already acknowledged that Superman's his dad. So if he's
they
dad, that
pretty
makes
much
you mom.
they
It leaves only
essentially
one
did
choice
they essentially did IVF without a human uterus.
with no eggs.
Yeah.
In vitro with no eggs. I don't know how that works, but science.
Science. I don't know. I
Donovan.
don't get right. Um right. So Lex and Lois find out that, they realize that Darkseid's trying to come through and that he's messing literally with Hank's mind. And Lex says he has something that might be able to help, which turns out to be a mother box. And it's just like, I always have questions how Lex gets his hands on things. And I just remember that Lex is a rich white man. So,
Yeah. And there was that attack, like I said, with Darkseid before, and he got his hands on that shit and was selling shit and
he's like, this is how I stay rich.
follow the rich white man.
Um, and then also at the fortress, the Eradicator tells Clark to abstain from sexual activity due to him still
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
having his powers. And
He's not gonna have his full strength yet, man. You can't be knocking boots yet. You gotta chill.
I mean, if there's ever a reason to deplete yourself.
I was just about you saying like, yeah, but worth it. So
Facts! I'd be just like, if I do it in the sun, maybe it would be a little bit easier.
on the roof of the Daily Planet,
You know? No, they'd probably cave in that fucking building by accident.
he lets her ride the shit. He don't get on top.
um, so Lex has a plan to activate the mother
Now him
box
and
to
Wonder Woman, by the they tear a whole city down, but
destroy civilization by accident. Lex has a plan to activate the mother box at the right moment, but Lois has to distract Cyborg Superman long enough so that he can get the right moment. Um, and I was like, damn, this is crazy. Oh wait, no, I'm skipping. I'm skipping stuff. Uh, and then so these brainless cyborgs take Lois to I didn't know what to call them, so I just started calling them random shit.
mm,
Take Lois
we
to
know what
see
you mean.
Cyborg. Yeah. The niggas in the red and the black suits. Um and takes Lois to see Cyborg Superman so that they can chat. She's just like, take me to him. They take her up
Take me to your leader.
while Superman and Steel and everyone else are flying back towards Metropolis.
Superman got like guns and shit because he ain't fully powered up, and he flying in a plane and shit because he can't really fly yet because he still ain't got his power back.
Mm-hmm. We get, Superboy is just making shit weirder and weirder as this goes along because he goes, so can I live with you? It's like the equivalent of like your dad shit, like not your dad specifically, but like a dad who walked out years ago, said, I'm gonna go get some milk and I'll be back. And then he comes back and then the kid's like, can I live with you? This is great. I have a dad. Everyone told me you weren't coming back, but look, here you are.
yeah. They were wrong. I
They were
always
wrong, Dad.
believed. I always believed.
I had faith in you, Dad.
Do you have PlayStation?
Right, you have games on your phone.
I do not.
Uh, I do. I just don't let her play with them. Uh, so yeah, and then Lex informs Clark that Lois went to the Watchtower, and he's just like, "Nigga,
Like,
what
oh,
the
I hate you
fuck?"
so much. I hate you in the worst way. Why did you let this happen?
Right? He's just like, "You, Sir Billionaire, with all the tech and all the other shit, you were just like, yeah, she's expendable. Let her go."
Yeah, let's just send the reporter in there. Yeah, because that makes
The
sense.
defenseless human reporter. So, well, I will argue to say that Lois isn't always defenseless. She's just human, but she tends to be resourceful.
Yeah, but versus a cyborg who could snap her in two with a drop of a hat.
Which I surprised he didn't when he flew at her and grabbed her, because I was like, you would have flown, you would have A trained her.
Hmm.
A trained.
Yeah. Run through her and she explodes. For those of you who haven't watched The Boys.
All right. They have 2 seasons, and I managed to catch up within the second season. You guys should have seen it by now. Everyone has Amazon.
I mean, that's basically the opening scene of the first season, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's just, you can spoil the fuck out of that. There's just yeah. Their speedster killed a motherfucker by running through him because.
Pretty much what I would assume Barry could accidentally do to Iris during sex if he didn't control himself.
Nah, he'd be vibrating in that pussy. We've talked about this before. That's their thing.
Either way. So you can't do the same shit every time. It gets boring after a while.
You use the same toy every time, it still works, don't it?
No, I don't.
Oh, never mind
I may only have a very small selection of them, but I don't. I also don't use it the same way every time.
You snorted. That was funny.
Shut up. So, we see Darkseid talking to Hank, and I was like, he's literally brainwashing him. because Hank was a huge dick rider for Superman before all that other stuff happened in the last movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Darkseid's being a dickhead because he's a dickhead. Um, and Darkseid tells him, open the gates because I want to beat Clark the fuck up because he realizes that Clark is still alive. And Lois starts baiting him because all the brainless cyborgs are coming together to open up another portal in the sky.
Sky portals.
Sky portals, man. And so Lois is taunting Hank, and she's like, I thought you were going to beat Superman, huh? I thought this was your beef, not his. And so Hank pulls out whatever is in his head, pulls it out. I'm assuming like the logic board that connects him to Darkseid, and and then he rips the mother box out of his chest and destroys it, right? Hank is still salty, and so he's just like, without Darkseid, I'm still mad. So I already told my peoples, fuck this city up, which they are doing. The city's like, no, we gonna fight back. And I was just like, C point A yet again. You're not supers, but it's cute that you're trying.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all this chaos ensuing. And I was like, it's one of those classic moments between Cyborg Superman and Lois where it's like, he can't save you now, Lois, and boom, he shows up before he kills her. And I was just like, oh yay, saved. And he reveals himself, showing that not only has he been using mane and tail in his slumber, he's alive and back to Lois. Superboy and Steel save Lex, who is able to open the portal for Justice League to come back. Hank is going on his manifesto rant of why he hates Superman and how he had to, and how, he used to try and reaffirm to his wife that everything would be okay and Superman would save them. But nah, he's just too busy to help. Again, don't know what happened. You're in space. These are the risks of going into space.
Exactly.
Lois tries to tell Hank that his anger is from Darkseid, and he's like, nah, bitch, I'm legitimately angry.
I was angry before Darkseid. That's why I started working for Darkseid.
Right, like I'm dead ass angry, and he just gave me the tools to kind of control my anger or to use my anger. Clark and him are fighting, and Cyborg Superman is like, I'm gonna kill you guys in space because this is also a rocket ship. Or watchtower, that is. They go off, they start going into space. Lois gets free and kind of saves them from dying in space, but she doesn't save them necessarily from Cyborg Superman. So she was like, I got one of two problems done. I've done my job.
It's more than most of you motherfuckers do.
Facts. Iris. Whoever the other women or partners in DC.
Where's the fuck is his name? Trevor. Wonder Woman's man.
Yeah, Trevor, no good.
Yeah.
Rachel from Batman.
Well, Batman got his women changed, so
True. It always seemed like Rachel was a special, but that could also just be a Christopher Nolan story point.
Yeah, that was just for that trilogy.
Gotcha.
Like in the comics, it was mostly like either Selena Kyle or Talia al Ghul, as far as him.
Right.
But
yeah, pointless, useless. Lois is like, where can I punch? Where can I go?
Yeah, everybody else's significant other is useless besides Lois, as far as.
And I like that it stays consistent like that throughout all the iterations I see of her.
Mm-hmm.
Like Smallville, she was a go-getter. Superman and Lois, she's ready to fight no matter what. In the animated, she's just like, hello. So I like that they keep her consistent. So yeah, Lex gets the portal open. The League comes back through. He's like, "This is a business move. Don't add me on Facebook." Um, so Lois goes over to open the sun shields to kind of help start powering up Superman because she's just like, you're gonna die." Cyborg Superman shoots her with a laser beam twice, which tells you how resilient Lois is. Because she's
But
just like, I
also, it's
got
one of
it.
the things like, this is definitely one of those situations where she should be dead. Like she should have died. Like we've seen other things get just eradicated that were like made of much, more sturdy stuff than the human body just get eradicated, no pun intended, by the eye beams from a Superman or such. So,
Right. I would have thought that shit would have blew her the fuck up, but I guess not.
yeah.
But anywho, sun shields open and Clark opens his eyes and he knocks some literal sense into Hank.
Yeah.
um, to which then the Eradicator comes into his brain and shocks the living hell out of him,
It was a little twisted
stopping
shit. Yeah.
stopping the brainless cyborgs as well. And then I was like, "Oh, Hank can finally be at peace." Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know if he's resting in peace, but he's at rest.
Mm-hmm.
Lois and Clark kiss because he tells her that his last secret was actually that he loved Lois. And I'm
I
just like,
love
cool.
you.
Right. Cool. I love it. We go to the people outside on the ground. And I was like, are all those people dead? They are.
As they all fall from the sky and this shit, I'm like, yo, so they lost their powers and then fell out of the sky. They're all dead.
That's fucked up.
Like all of them are dead. And I'm watching this and I'm just
DEAD.
like, so we not like talking about how all of them are dead?
No, they're not going to address that.
Like they were all floating in the sky, like top of skyscraper level. Powers taken away, and they all went crashing to the ground.
There's no blood on the floor, which
Like I
is
said, there
why at
should have been
first
a
I was like,
whole lot of.
yeah, because they all fell like in the suits. So I was like, oh, is there a chance that they'll just get up and just
Concussion.
go back? So yeah, like maybe they walk away with a concussion, some cuts and bruises. Nope. Homegirl from earlier from the first dude that volunteered, Becky. And I was gonna just name her Becky, and then I realized that her name in the movie was actually Becky. Um,
Then
she
she
finds
giving
her
that Becky.
friend. I guess so. Uh, she finds her friend and she starts crying, and I was like, "Yep, they're dead."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Damn." We go over and we see
That would
Cat
teach you to
Grant.
volunteer for shit.
You know, like the first thing I kept thinking was like, did none of these people see the Hunger Games?
I
Did
don't
they
think
not
so.
see what happens when you volunteer as tribute? We see Cat Grant reintroducing Clark back to the world, trying to convince the world, yeah, I was found. I'm good. Got Martian Manhunter posing as Superman for the expose and the interview. And Clark is like, that's not anything like how I sound.
Close enough.
Right. It looks like you. It sounds like something you would say, you're good.
Affleck. Yeah.
Right. So, Clark and Lois are talking, and then Clark gets a call from Diana stating that he's late for league business. And then Clark realizes that the two women in his life are actually becoming buddies. His girlfriend and his work friend are becoming best friends because Wonder
Work
Woman
friend.
realized she doesn't have a lot of friends,
Yeah.
or girlfriends, I should say.
Yeah.
And then it goes to credits.
Then
And
there's
then you get a
something after the
post-credit
credits.
scene, and you find that they're gonna fight Darkseid with Lex. And like we said before in the beginning of this show, This will lead and set up the events of Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
And that'll be our next one.
Yep. This was good.
Mm-hmm. Reign of
This
the
was a good
Superman
one.
and Death of Superman is a cool story. I like it. That's why I'm like, yeah, we can do this. Let's start with this. But yeah, when I remember reading it, like I have the Death of Superman graphic novel with all the comics that led up to his death and all that, and I have a few of the Reign of the Superman comics as well. Um, it's probably my favorite Superman story. So yeah.
Hey, I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as you know, this podcast is or this show is found on Patreon due to your subscription first, and it gets released a month later to the general public. But we do have other shows like Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow that this is related to. You can join the discussion, send us some memes, talk about new updates we find about the shows on our Facebook group, which is facebook.com/group/Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow. Not DC related, but if you're a wrestling fan, like I'm starting to realize most of a lot of people I socialize with are. Um, we have a companion show for wrestling every week called Smacking It Raw. And sometimes Travis here shows up on, but it's hosted by our other partner in crime or partner in Croatia, Matt the Warden Riddler, who talks about
Ritter.
Ritter. I've been calling him Matt Riddler for like years.
Yeah. He's not the Riddler
Could
at
be.
all.
Uh,
No, at all.
okay. But he hosts that show every week, and you can also join the discussion for that on facebook.com/group/smacking it raw. There's no G in smacking. Uh, we also have a website, creatiaworld.com, CREATIA world, because apparently we can't tell you how to spell world.
No, because if you can't spell it, get your life together. Get a goddamn dictionary. How do you not know how to spell world, people? It's not hard. Fix it.
We also have a general Facebook page, which is facebook.com/creationworld. I'm not spelling it again.
Exactly.
For other fun things, you can follow and subscribe to our YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube. I'm tired of telling y'all to subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube. We can see how many of y'all watch this on YouTube. Subscribe. I'm tired. What am I missing? You know we have a Patreon because obviously you paid for it to get to this. We sell merchandise. Buy it, wear it, post it, tag us. I'll share in my story. Mm-hmm. My friends won't understand, but I'll do it anyway. You can follow me for stupid shit on Twitter and Instagram at Mara the Shark, because all I do is talk shit on Twitter and post memes on Instagram. And that's Mara the Shark. That's MARADASHARK. Where can they find you, Travis?
And find me on both Twitter and Instagram at Sir_Cussalott. That is at SIR_CUSSALOTT.
This has been another episode of Multiverse. We will see you guys next month or whenever we have time to do this again. But most likely next month. So we'll see you guys soon.
Later.
Peace.